Hey y'all, Stephanie with Minimalism Life. Welcome back to my channel. Today, Lucy and I'm not sure if you can see her down here on the floor wiggling around, are going to talk to you guys about kind of where to start if you're looking into minimalism and if you're looking into simplifying your life. What should the first few things you do to start to kick it off without getting overwhelmed, without feeling like you're overhauling your life, just the first few steps to get started. So I have a list and I'm going to go over those with y'all, and hopefully Lucy's not too distracting, but if you're new to my channel, I have 4 kids under 4, and so this is nap time. She didn't happen to go down. This is kind of my only chance to do this unless I'm going to do it at like midnight. So we're just going to go with it. My number 1 tip, and I don't remember if I responded this to someone who commented on my YouTube or on my Instagram, which is also Minimalist Mom Life. But they were talking about getting rid of stuff, and my advice to them was, my number 1 tip, if you are getting rid of stuff and you have to think about whether or not you want to keep it, like you love it or you use it, then you don't love it enough to keep it and you don't use it enough to keep it. The things in my home, within a second I could tell you that I want it because I love it or I use it. And if I can't, whether it's your wardrobe, whether it's the amount of towels you have or sheets you have or measuring spoons in your kitchen, if you have to think about it, toss it. Make it so much quicker and get going and move on. If you sit there and overthink and try and rationalize through everything and think if there's possibly any sentimental value to you, or think about how much it costs or all of these other things, you're never going to get anywhere because it's going to take so long and it'll be so much more overwhelming. But if you can wire your brain to think, if I love it, I'm going to keep it. If I use it, I'm going to keep it. And if else, then I don't really need it. It'll be so much easier when you go to simplify stuff. My number 2 tip that goes right along with that is set a timer for how long you're giving yourself to simplify an area. So rather than saying, I'm going to take all afternoon or all weekend and go through my house, or all afternoon and go through my kids' room, or all afternoon and go through my closet, say, I'm going to take 45 minutes and go through my entire closet, and I better have it done in 45 minutes. And set that timer and do it in 45 minutes. Or give yourself, if you've gone through your house one time already and decluttered, like kind of the major, but you still feel like there's too much, then each day give yourself 15 minutes of decluttering an area. So you're cooking dinner, put the timer on for 15 minutes, go through your cabinets. 15 minutes. Do you love it? Keep it. Do you use it? Keep it. If it doesn't meet those 2 categories, it's gone. And you can do it in, are you coffee? Are you coffee? You can do it in a really short amount of time if you keep to those principles of only loving it or using it. Do we keep it? Then you can get those areas decluttered. And setting the timer will keep it from feeling like, oh, this dreaded task, or I'm going to spend all day and it's going to take so much time. No, it doesn't need to take that much time. You can bounce right through it. Simplify by making a timer and making snap decisions on what you want to keep. And my 3rd tip on this is that once you've done that, is you need to make sure it gets out of your house. So if you had the pile that's going to Goodwill, and I have a video about other places besides Goodwill to donate to, and I will link that. But if you're taking it to Goodwill or wherever you're taking, the SPCA, if it's blankets, whatever it is, get it into your car as soon as you're done. If you are selling stuff like on Facebook or OfferUp or doing a yard sale, then you need to set a time limit that has to sell within. So let's say I'm going to give it a week to sell on Facebook or OfferUp, whatever you're doing, or Craigslist. And if it hasn't sold within a week, and price it to go, y'all. Do not price this to try and make the best money. I don't care that you spent $200 on it. That doesn't make it worth $200. It doesn't even make it worth $100. Price it to sell. If it doesn't sell within that amount of time, then know where you're donating it and move it right along. Because if you keep it in your house, you don't get the satisfaction of the fact that you decluttered an area if you just have a pile of stuff that's been decluttered but is still cluttering up your home. So get it gone. My advice once you have decluttered too is to have an ongoing box or Rubbermaid somewhere in your home that is for decluttering. And so that way when you do your 15-minute kind of snap declutters, you know that the house is getting a little full again, you're going to get 15 minutes of time to different areas, you can just throw it all into that box. And then once a month or once a week, however often you're having to declutter, then you can take that box out. But you have one space where that goes that is stuff that is gone. Especially with like stuff that's your kids that they may see and think, oh, I actually did want that, or they don't understand they don't fit things anymore, and so you're having to get rid of those clothes. Get them out of the house, and you'll feel the reward more immediately when you do that, and it'll stay under control as well. And then my other 4th tip is start with your most used area. So I know a lot of people that talk to me always want to start with their kids' toys, and they're very overwhelmed with the amount of toys their kids have, and I totally get that because it can be overwhelming. And it's a very new stuff, plus it's not your stuff, so it's easier to kind of criticize or take concern with an area that's not our own. But my advice is not to start with the kids' toys. Model what behavior you want your kids to have. So rather than going in and saying, oh, their stuff isn't valuable and isn't of worth and is in the way, do that for your stuff first. Let them see you getting rid of your stuff and your stuff that you're not using before you go to do their stuff. Instead of going to toys first, go to your most used areas. So typically that's going to be something like your kitchen or your closet, things that you're seeing every day, especially like your kitchen. If you're a mom, a stay-at-home mom, you're in that kitchen so many times a day cooking and preparing food. How nice would it be for that area to be simplified? Or maybe if you have a big entertainment center in the living room and it's always, full of DVDs and papers and bills and just pictures and stuff, declutter those things, the things that you're going to see first, because what that's going to do is, since you're in those areas that the most, it's going to create the most amount of satisfaction out of the fact that you decluttered. If you declutter the drawers in your bathroom but you never open them but once a month anyway, that's not really going to spark a lot in you to get you in that momentum of thinking, okay, this is making a difference, I'm making progress. So do areas that you're going to see often so you can feel the progress, which will give you the momentum to keep going in decluttering. And my last and final tip, number 5, seriously one of the most important, is when you are in your first journey kind of minimalizing and going through your stuff and getting rid of stuff, get together with your family and decide that you are not bringing anything else into your home until the decluttering is done. And what that will do is it'll give you a reward for when the decluttering is done to bring things into your home that you actually do love and you do want. And it'll also keep you from taking 2 steps forward just to take 3 steps backwards. You don't want to declutter your closet and work hard and spend that 45 minutes or however long it takes you only to keep bringing stuff in and then to have that same problem again. And as you're going through things, you may really realize, hey, we spent a lot of money without intention, and we don't want to do that again. Look at all this stuff that we're having to get rid of, all this money that we've spent that now is just going to Goodwill or is going somewhere else that we're not necessarily feeling like we're getting a value out of it. Let's stop bringing things into our home until we're intentional with what's in our home. Then we can be intentional with what we bring in our home, because that's just as important. Your life is never going to be simple if you simplify and then recomplicate it. So stop buying for the time being that you are minimalizing your life. And if you guys want suggestions on things to give and things to do that don't involve stuff and bringing stuff into your home, I would love to do a video for you guys on that and how we're doing Christmas with our kids. Spoiler alert, we're not buying our kids any toys. We don't do that. If you do, that's fine, but that's just kind of our lifestyle, and we can do a video all about that for you guys. But those are my 5 tips, and I hope that you enjoyed them. I know this video is kind of short, but I know Lucy can only last so long. So I will see y'all in my next video, and leave down below your number 1 minimizing tip. And if you have any questions, leave those down below as well. I'd love to talk to y'all in the comments. See you next time.